Okay, guys, please welcome the one, the only, Nia Long.
Woo! My girl. Keke, do you love me?
All day. All day.
Oh, hi, babe.
So good to have you on the podcast.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here.
You look so stunning. I say this every time I see you. I'm like, she's sick of it. She's here's for everybody. So let's get into these little pre-show pull-up questions.
Okay.
So your zodiac sign, I've always known, is a Scorpio. Mm-hmm. But I'm gagged to see that your sun and moon are both a Scorpio.
Yeah.
And then your rising is a Virgo.
So good. It's so good because I like to clean. It explains why I'm organized. I'm a hyper achiever. Mm-hmm. You know.
Now, what parts of you feel very Scorpio, if any? Do you relate to the signs at all?
I do. I believe in astrology. I think probably I'm a deep thinker. I prefer to be solo than run in a pack.
Yeah.
If I put you up, put you. If I don't, I don't. Mm-hmm. I mean,
I'm so glad you with me. I don't want to be on the other end. Let me tell you.
I could have used nicer words, but I mean, we're just having an honest conversation.
Exactly.
No, I mean, listen, I believe that everyone deserves a 10 in the beginning.
Yes.
I want to believe that we are good humans. I want to believe that we do the right thing. I want to believe that we love and respect one another, but it doesn't always work out that way. And I think after being in this industry for so long, you kind of just have to pause and go, okay, I don't need to be friends with every single person, and every single person doesn't have to like me. And then you choose your tribe, right? That's a real thing. And I think it's healthy.
Yeah. And I think I've learned too, a lot of times we feel like our industry, because it's our industry, we have to connect to everybody. But it's like,
it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Your crew might be a bunch of people that are into art museums, or it might be into finance. Or
absolutely.
It doesn't mean just because we all do the same thing, we're going to get along.
Yes.
I had to learn that the hard way.
Yes. And I think you keep your old friends from back in the day, and they keep things centered and focused and real. And then you meet new friends along the way. The thing is to be inspired.
Yes.
Who inspires you to be the best version of yourself? Who's supporting that growth?
Oh my gosh, yes, that growth. Because some people, I've realized too, I was just talking about this to somebody, some people relate to you on growth, and then some people you have a form of recognition in stagnation.
Yes.
Where they're hitting this hurt point where it's like, this is the only place that we can vibe together, is thinking about all the things we've been through and how hard it's been.
No one wants to be in that rut.
No. And it's
we
like
are growing women, and we are evolving women, and it doesn't mean that you don't love the people from your past. It just means that some people, this is a kind of a funny, sad thing where, have you ever looked back at like people that maybe you went to high school with, or that you've known from the past, and they were like the most popular girl at school?
Yeah.
And you wanted to be them.
Yeah.
And then you see them years later and you're like, oh no, what happened?
Yeah. No,
I'm like, who is that in my class?
I got the names.
But it's a choice to evolve, is my point. And if we stop, we become stagnant. We don't grow. And then you're like, how can I be at my best self if this is where I'm stopping? So I think it's important to have these conversations, and also encourage the people who may need that. Encourage the friends who may need that.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. Mm-hmm. What are
that was
you
a very long answer, by the way, because
it
was supposed to be quick. It's a pull-up. It's not a spend the night.
But also, I like to spend the night. I like that it becomes a sleepover.
Well, we need some
I think about me and you at the 15% pledge. We're walking out, and we're like, we're planning a sleepover.
We said that.
Yes, so that has to happen. Yes.
We need to do it. And I'll bring Kez so then he can look after your boy and they can have their moment.
I just live for the boy mama.
I know, it's so good.
He pulled up, I think, that night, picking you up.
Mass idea.
Yes, it's the coolest thing. I said, that's my son. Like, honey, I've been at the party.
I'm like,
pull up and get mama. Yes.
Listen, I'm saving money.
Okay.
Listen, no car service. He is the car service.
What are you most grateful for today? Wake up with joy in my heart and good health. I mean, what else could you say?
I feel that way. I try to pause every morning.
Yeah.
And just feel that. It's easy to say, but you have to feel it.
Yeah.
Because that's where the manifestation of good things starts, is by feeling that and knowing. I can imagine, even with your schedule, that you probably sometimes feel like, how am I going to do all of this today? Mm-hmm. And I find when I feel that way and I start with that, it's actually the fuel that I need to do it and feel good and know that, like, I'm just going to take a breath and pause.
Yeah.
And it does, because really what I realized I used to do a lot is the movie that I made in my head about what needed to be done was way more dramatic than what actually needed to be done.
Yes.
So I stopped that. You got to quiet the noise in your head and just be grateful.
You
just
do
live in
seem like
gratitude.
every time that I've been around you, you've always had this sense of pacing. How do you keep things slowed down? Because it's not like you're moving slow, but you kind of have a presence about yourself where it's like that chaos ain't over here.
I can't do it. I look at you and I'm like, what? This baby is made of magic, because
oh my gosh.
Every time I see you, and what I love about you is you're fearless. You will say what you think. You stand for what you believe in. You will speak on things that maybe are uncomfortable but necessary. And that is brave.
Thank you.
It's brave for us women to do those things. I think for me, I wish I had that thing where I could just go. I'm in the bed at like 9:30.
That's fabulous.
I am like 9:30. My son is like, oh, you going upstairs? Yep. Got to go.
I think that's important.
Quiet time.
Because you still have everything from how I look at you. You know what I mean? And you don't operate from that thing that we do often see that I think some people use me as an example of, where we're always this hyper functioning, which is fine. I think there are seasons of that. It's great. It's cool. But
when you hit 50, you're going to be like, Nia.
Right. I'm done with it.
What should we do now? Because I'm trying to come on your side.
You know what I mean?
It's a different thing.
And I feel like you've always had that. You know what I mean? And you've always been very successful. So I think it's important, because everybody don't have to move like that.
With urgency.
You don't have to still get what you want. That's important.
There's two thoughts, right? But I also think, let's talk about the world that we're living in right now. We're in a world where we're getting constant information. So that constant information on our phones make us feel like we actually really need to be in this state of urgency all the time.
Yes.
I didn't come from that generation. Ugh. If there were cell phones with me in the 90s in New York City, do you not understand the stories that would be told? I was naughty.
Oh my gosh, girl, I would have lived to be back there with you.
We had fun, and nobody knew.
No one. Were you at the clubs? Were you at the just fashion show? Like, what was your
I was definitely at the clubs. I was definitely hanging out with boys I had no business hanging out with. I was in the street.
I love that, girl.
It was
because
a good
you are
time.
The quintessential it girl. I mean, you are. I mean, I know that must be ridiculous.
Let's not get crazy.
When people. It's true.
But I don't know.
I cannot tell a lie. Call me Abe Lincoln. We're going to get to that. Okay, we really been not pulled up. We've been at the sleepover with this. Let's get to the end of this.
Okay.
We've been on this, girl.
The next morning.
We keep keying. Okay, what's a question you wish you were asked more in interviews? This is good. Mm-hmm. What I would be doing if I wasn't an actor. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what would you be doing if you were an actor?
I think I'd be a therapist.
Girl, I'm already on the couch.
I think I'd be a therapist. But I wouldn't have been a therapist 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I'd be a therapist now because I have such a better understanding of self. I have a better understanding of grace. I have a better understanding of how to get to your truth. And so I don't think you could be help to anyone else if you don't know how to do that for yourself.
How do you get to your truth is really, really hard.
It's so hard.
It's like a series, because a lot of times in your mind, you have a lot of pseudo emotions. I feel like I think I read that when I was reading Eckhart Tolle, one of his books, where you're always in this surface point where it's like, you might think you're angry, or you're you like this, or you want fame, or you want these things that are surface, but really it's like, actually, I want to be seen.
Yeah, or actually,
I need love.
You know, I feel insecure. I don't feel power. So getting to the core of that emotion.
That is tough.
That's the work.
Yeah.
That's the work.
This next one I'm very jealous about.
I don't even know. I don't remember what it is.
Who is someone you met that made you feel starstruck? You met Michael Jackson.
I met Michael Jackson.
When did you meet Michael Jackson?
I met Michael Jackson at a Stevie Wonder concert with John Singleton, and I couldn't speak.
Nia.
I literally couldn't speak. And you know when someone's standing next to you and you're like, that's not Michael Jackson. That's like a lookalike. That's like an impersonator.
Because he always had one too. So
he's got like 20 of them.
Yeah. It was like Elvis Presley.
And now they're about to really come out, girl. We gonna see like 9,900
I'm so
Michael Jackson.
For that movie. There's this one impersonator of Michael Jackson where he literally would go around and look at other Michael Jacksons and be like, good job. Like he's the real Michael. Like he's the real Michael.
That is so nervy.
Girl, he's so funny. He walks around. He's like, he's good. It's like, you're not Michael either.
You're not setting the bar for the rest of the Michaels. He's going to see this and be like, they're talking about me.
Oh my gosh, he's definitely going to post this. He is good with his digital. I'll tell you that.
Oh, well, he's all over this. Then.
Okay.
He's coming over for the sleepover next time.
Last one. What's a mantra you live by and why? My business. I don't need the noise. Okay.
Now, that's the third F-bomb in one interview.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Period. I don't need the noise.
I don't need the noise.
The noise is heavy.
The noise will break you down.
Girl.
The noise will break you down.
So growing up, you moved from Brooklyn to Iowa City.
Yeah.
Those feel very different in my mind.
They were very different.
Because what's in Iowa?
So my mom went to the University of Iowa. She got her master's there. She's a painter.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So, this was during a time where, scholarships were given and young Black artists she got a full scholarship.
2 masters in fine arts.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel like going from those places impacted or shaped how you looked at, work ethic and adaptability, just seeing your mom as a single mom handle all
that? It's so crazy sitting here talking to you because you're like my baby in my mind, like my little tiny baby that was like my little baby sister. And now like you're like, does everyone say that to you when they come on the show?
Well,
like I just had a moment when I was like, oh my gosh, you're like a full woman now. And a mommy. Okay, sorry.
So
I'm
crazy
sorry.
for
I
me
just
too.
blacked out like real quick. Okay. So I think, so yes, there was a culture shock.
For sure, right?
So I'm in Brooklyn. My grandparents are Caribbean.
Oh, where from?
Trinidad.
Period.
Barbados, Grenada.
I knew you had the island because you're going to get somebody in check fast.
Quick.
That's that island. Yes.
There's some hot pepper sauce at any time.
I love
Don't
that so
play
bad.
with me.
I love that.
We don't play them games,
So we're in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
We're
and so then my mother got a full scholarship to go to the University of Iowa. She took the scholarship. She went to Cooper Union in New York. She went to Howard, and so she was a single mom. We got there, and it was very white.
Right. Yeah.
And I was the only little Black girl in my school. I think there was like maybe 6 Black children in the whole school, and this was a K through 12 school. Mm-hmm. And I experienced racism, and I experienced hate, and I experienced definitely a sense of identity that I did not. I was not very sure of who I was.
Wow.
And I had a lost sense of my own identity. And at times, like what it meant to be Black in America in the 1970s, because that was a very important time for us. And it wasn't until I got to LA and I landed in South Central that I really understood what Black people were going through because it was in front of me. I knew what I had gone through in Iowa, but being in a community of Black people where I was often teased for speaking proper.
Right.
Or teased for having a little bit of a different look that didn't really fit with the light-skinned girls or the dark-skinned girls, and being like the colorism, right?
Colorism.
Like these are the things that we understand as Black women.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
So when you moved to LA, when you moved to South Central, how old were you, and was this immediately about you and your career? Were you still kind of just
I was 9.
You were 9, yes. So you were 9 when
I was a baby.
Wow, so you were still quite young.
Yeah, I was really young. And I didn't start acting, like taking my first acting class. I was about 12.
Wow.
Yeah, I was about 12.
How did that enter? Was it because your mom already was an artist that seemed like an available option for you? Because I feel like a lot of people don't know, hey, you could be a kid actor. I mean, I think it's popular now, especially Disney, Nickelodeon, all that stuff. But like, what made you think I could be a kid actor or actor as a kid?
I was always kind of interested in show business, but not because I wanted to be a star. I just thought like, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. Mm-hmm. And my mother was also really big into R&B music back then. And so I saw women like Whitney Houston, but also women like, it was Whitney, it was Barbara Streisand, it was Minnie Riperton, it was Phyllis Hyman, it was Patrice Hyman. Yes, it was Patrice Rushen. These were all the women that I would see just on album covers in our home in Iowa. So when I got to LA and I started like, meeting the girls from around the way, we would do, how you had your crew and you do like dance routines on the porch.
Of course. That's TikTok now.
It's TikTok. Mm-hmm. Girl,
yeah. We've been doing it.
We've been doing. Where's the camera? Y'all don't know nothing about this. But I had the OG boombox with the cassette tapes. And Solid Gold. Remember Solid Gold?
Oh my gosh, that's OG.
That's what I'm saying. So I started at the YMCA. My babysitter would take me to the YMCA and I would perform there. And one day I was like, I want to take an acting class. And so I took an acting class at LACC Community College. And then I met Regina King at high school.
And Regina had already been on 227 by then, would you say?
Not yet. Quite yet, but she was definitely there.
Wow.
And working. Wow. And so one day she invited me to a class and it stuck. It stuck.
That is so cool. Yeah. Would you say that's when you thought, this is my dream? Like, I'm going to be an actor
honestly, like, acting class was very therapeutic for me.
Interesting.
Because I was able to explore my emotions through scene work. And that was a little bit of like, you could work through some things. Mm-hmm. Single mom, my dad wasn't really around. You're dealing with abandonment issues. You're dealing with growing up in Iowa as a young Black girl. You've experienced racism. You understand what segregation is. You're trying to come into your own, but you're also in a Black community with people that aren't totally accepting me as I was.
Wow.
So there was a lot to uncover and to understand.
Yeah, dealing with a lot of that.
There weren't conversations. We didn't talk about that stuff. We just felt it.
Yes, I think it's so crazy how words can give clarity and almost relief. Like when I think about the language we have now with like microaggressions or structural systemic racism, like we didn't have. It was just like, this feel weird.
And deal with it.
Something going on.
And deal with it.
They said my hair crunchy. Like there was nothing more that you could go. And then the whole Oreo or the concept of code switching,
Yes.
At a young age, I knew very early on, my parents put us in private school because they wanted us to have a better education.
Yep.
My sister and I both were the only Black kids in our class. We're 4 years apart.
What school did you go to?
St. Benedict in Blue Island.
I went to St. Mary's.
Okay.
For a hot second. And then I got into a fight with a senior and got kicked out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was weird.
That was at Trinity.
It was Trinity came. Trinity said, I don't care if you're a senior.
Girl, period. Because what did you do with messing with me?
Well, this is the thing. It's like no one wants to be bullied and no one wants to be talked about or,
I became funny. You know what I mean? My sister was, you white girl, full eyes. And I was like, oh, it won't be me.
You performed.
Right. I performed because that was my safety. So I really relate to you on those characters, that gave me an opportunity to express and play with themes of emotions and things I couldn't have otherwise accessed. So it's like,
And we weren't, there wasn't a space for us to think enough about ourselves to even explore what we were feeling. It was like survival. I mean, even though I went to private school and even though my parents did what they could do and my mother worked really hard and my grandmother and grandparents provided, that we were still, at least I know we were still, my family, we were in the mindset of survival. Mm-hmm. And when you are constantly trying to survive, there is no room for self-exploration. And so that becomes the thing that as an adult, as you become a mother, as you deal with relationships that are trying and poke you. And when those things happen, though, it's such a blessing because those are the things that make you stop to try to seek understanding.
Yes.
And so you can never look at anything that happens in your life as bad or good. It's just part of the journey.
I love everything you're saying, especially and even to people that don't have children. But I will say for me, having my son has done just that, especially when we think about themes around like survival and continuity over just like embodied experience and presence.
Absolutely.
The concept of like rest as something that you shouldn't have to work to have or receive, but it's something that you give yourself.
It's a gift.
And have that safety in that. That's something that I've really been thinking a lot about because like you think about lineage and it's like so many of us were just taught to survive.
Yes.
Just to make it to the next day.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And you weren't even allowed to stop and pause and check in with yourself. So that thing that you're talking about, that slowing down, it's because I require that of myself for myself. And it's a little bit difficult to do, I think, when you have younger children. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But you're going to wake up one day and you're going to go, oh, I'm back. That part of me that had to give and give and give and give to this little being, now you're able to look and go, oh, he's there. And then you start pouring back into yourself, unless you do like me and have another one 15 years later. I was like, what was I thinking? Kids are so far apart.
At what age would you say, or at least with your first son, I know you said you already have the second one, it became the same thing, but like what age did he get to where you were kind of feeling like, we had, it's a vibe. How old?
It's like 9.
Ooh, we got some time.
You got time, girl. You gonna
be like 20.
And then and then it happens again and again and again. So with each stage, you pull back that thing as a, I wouldn't say I'm a helicopter mom, but I'm definitely in all of that business.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you just pull back a little, and then they prove to you that they can handle the independence. And then you give them a little more. And as you're taking away, you're pouring back into yourself because you got to stay fine.
You've got to stay fine.
Got to stay fine. There will be.
That is the realest.
There will be no, because we're in an industry where we're not really allowed to fall off. You have to.
And I do actually love that push.
I love
the push. Keep me together.
Yes.
Because I don't want to be just so sometimes.
You can't be the girl. What's the girl in high school?
Oh my gosh, yeah. We're going to beep the last name, but you know who you are.
You know who you are.
She know what she did.
She knows what she did.
She was mad because he liked me.
You know what? I have so many of those.
You mad?
Why are you mad?
Okay. Now, you ended up telling yourself if you didn't have a consistent acting job, by the time that you got your high school diploma, you'd go to university.
Yeah.
But you ended up landing a job.
I did.
Baby, this is Keke Palmer, yeah.
Do you hear that? Baby, a warm getaway must be calling my name because spring has officially sprung. We're saying bye-bye to endless winter layers and hello to sunny beach season. I finally have a little time off coming up, and with my crazy schedule, that's rare. So I'm thinking of a long weekend escape with my family. The question is, coastal Santa Barbara vibes or desert stay in Palm Springs? All I know is that when I'm planning a trip, booking a stay on Airbnb just makes everything easier. I just love having a whole house to ourselves. We can each have our own space, no cramped hotel rooms to worry about, and come together for fun movie marathons or epic game nights in the living room. Everyone can be as loud as they want because things can get competitive, y'all. And let's face it, a meal is better shared around a table than a bed, especially when it's my dad's cooking. But here's the real magic. We get to play locals, wandering through neighborhood parks and popping into all the best family-owned, under-the-radar restaurants on the recommendations of our lovely superhost. You already know I love a good food tour moment. So if you're planning spring or summer getaways with your favorite people, find a stay on Airbnb. Trust me, that home away from home feeling can't be topped. And that job was the guiding light?
That job was the guiding light.
So how was that for you? Because did you feel like, did you expect to get a job, or were you kind of testing yourself? Was there true belief that you'd, be able to make it a real thing?
Listen, again, I was in survival mode. I was I graduated high school early. I went to Santa Monica College, did 2 years. I had a plan for myself. Mm-hmm. And I was very deliberate about my plan very early on. And so I said, if I don't get a job by this point, I'm gonna go back to school and get my degree. But I was so close to so many things that I felt like, maybe I don't need to go to college. And so Guiding Light ultimately became 4 years of university, hands-on experience.
Wow, yes. What are the things that you remember from working on that show that you feel like?
I remember cameras everywhere, but they were moving. I remember the lights. I remember having to hit my marks. I remember having, 5 and 6 pages of dialogue where you're like, how am I going to remember all that? But it was really an exercise of being completely present.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Boys in the Hood because, it wasn't just the movie. It was a cultural shift. It really, really was. I even still think about that now when I'm thinking about John Singleton. And
I miss him so much. Oh, gosh.
I hate that I didn't get a chance to work with him, especially because so much of his work, especially now that so much time has passed, it was like documentary narrative.
Absolutely. And it was on film.
It was just
on film.
It's incredible to just think about the way that he was exposing what was happening in the world in this way that is very pop culture, but has so much depth. But I found it interesting that you at first, before knowing he was directing it, kind of unsure if this was a movie that you wanted to do, which I think is really cool because it's hey, who's telling the story?
Who's telling the story? We had Spike Lee in New York, but we didn't really have our LA director yet. Everyone was kind of, it was marinating and percolating, but it hadn't landed yet. Yeah, right. And so when I got the call, I said, John Singleton, well, that doesn't necessarily sound black to me. And I said to my agent, I said, oh, is this some white guy trying to tell the story about where I live and what we do? So I get the script, Boys in the Hood. I'm like, okay, what kind of title is this? Because I'm living in South Central at this time.
Yep.
I read the script. I couldn't put it down. And it was the realest, most honest thing that I had ever read about young, urban, Black culture. And so I remember just saying to my agent, I'm like, is this director white or black? Because from where I stood, I didn't meet very many black directors.
Right.
And sure enough, on a rainy day, I walked in the casting room and there he was. And I just was like, hi. And he was like, who are you? And I was like, who are you? Because I didn't know it was him. And he got right up in my face. And I was like, I know this guy is not trying to holler at me at the audition. This cannot be what's happening right now. And he said, I'm John Singleton, the director. And I go, oh, hi. I turned real sweet. Code switch.
Okay. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so happy to meet you.
John
Singleton. And, you know, I did the audition and I walked out of there not knowing what was going to happen. But the thing that I appreciated about him most is his commitment to truth. Every character in that film, in some sort of way, had a connection to the real person.
Yeah.
In a real authentic way. Right. And so there wasn't a lot of acting required. It was more about being vulnerable.
Wow. So he's kind of one of those directors that lets you interpret the scene?
Well, I think he could see pieces of the actors, pieces of the character in who he cast. So, because he wanted to know everyone's story. You didn't just come in and audition. It was like a therapy session. At one point, I think I even cried because he was like, so tell me about your life. So I go and I tell him my life. And then I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, what about your dad? And I remember I just started crying because it was still very raw for me at that time. And I just thought, oh, wow, he hit a nerve.
That is really before the time, meaning that type of casting, that meta type of narrative storytelling that's coinciding with the storyline. I feel like we see a lot of that now, but that was not happening then.
No.
Which I think is just so remarkable when we think about people like John Singleton. But it's also interesting for you to be a newcomer and already be thinking about just like how Black stories are being told. How were you?
My father, he did not play when it came to us. He was a poet, a deep thinker. He was very much a part of the belief system of the civil rights movement. Yeah. And he was a voice in the community. And so I think certain things are just inherited. I don't know that I mean, I know my history and I've seen what we've been through, but there's that thing inside of me that cares deeply about us. Absolutely. And to represent who we are. And the older I get and the more that I'm raising these young men, it's become more and more important.
Yeah.
Because I want us all to understand each other. It's not just about separatism. I don't believe in that. I believe in understanding and finding truth and finding that connective tissue that actually makes us human.
Yeah. I feel the same way.
And that doesn't have a color. There's no race to that. You know, that's humanity.
Yes.
So
you credit John Singleton with discovering you.
Yes.
How did you, what are some things, you've said a little bit of it here, but when you think about those early days on set with him, what is something that you feel like still stays with you or stuck with you from there, especially as you now also a director? Yeah.
He's so specific. He was so specific about what he wanted. And I think you can probably relate to this too. When a director knows what he wants, it doesn't matter how good you are. When he knows what he wants and he tells you where to go, but he also gives you the freedom to change it if it doesn't feel good. You know you're safe.
Yeah.
And the worst thing in the world is to be on a set and you're shooting a film and you feel like you're kind of on an island alone and there's no connection between you and your director.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've all been there. It's a million times.
You know.
Oh, God.
Could you just imagine I just start telling, I'm bleeping this, but guys.
Outtakes.
Okay.
Outtakes.
It's tough.
It's tough.
It's tough.
It's tough because you're relying on yourself. And then you feel like you got to look at the monitor. Is my hair done? Is my makeup right? And I'm like, I was here to act. I'm not here to be the wardrobe person, the hairstylist, the makeup.
I just heard when you said that. I'm not scared of you. These other dudes, they might be scared of you, but I'll whoop your ass. That line I heard it. When you did that there, I went right back to Friday.
It's the same girl. It's the same girl.
She said, I will whoop your girl.
I remember F. Gary Gray cracked up when I said that. I don't even know that was in the script that way. But here's what happened. We had literally 30 seconds to get that shot. And as you notice, there's no coverage of me on the ground because we ran out of money and time. So I said, well, are you going to turn around and get me on the ground? Like, is there a stunt involved? He said, no, you're going to be slapped right out of the frame. Just gone.
Girl, I just watched it recently again.
It's a funny movie.
It's so, and then I think I feel like also what makes it so good and like a classic, especially of the Friday franchises, at the center of it, it was about a lot of what you just said. It was about community. It was about gun violence.
Absolutely.
It was about you got to live to fight another day.
That's it.
Especially at that time where we still having issues with gun violence.
Same thing.
And you think it's like, I'm like, y'all, at the end of the day, Friday was funny, but it had a message.
It was a real Friday in the hood, and it was layered with all the things that we dealt with. The good stuff, the funny stuff, the weed, the
and maybe
cereal with
life.
water, and maybe losing your life. All of these things.
Like, I just love that.
It was a great film.
Let's get into the 90s because, you mentioned it earlier. Y'all didn't have social media. No branding
God.
consultants. Like, it was a different level of mystique. And I'm wondering if you feel like that has allowed more longevity, or do you feel like it would have been great if y'all had a little bit more digital access or just to expand your reach?
I think it was perfect. Yeah. I think the 90s was absolutely perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Do we.
We want to go back.
And I just feel like, there was a naivete about the 90s that made us very powerful. Because I couldn't afford a stylist. There was you got dressed with what you had in your closet and you found a drug dealer to buy you a new purse.
Come on.
I definitely had some Gucci sneakers in my day and a good purse.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. And I love that I also wonder, like, is that just what we all feel about our youth? Like, even me, I think about the 2010s and I'm like, they were awesome. Now I still think about the 90s and I'm like, oh my gosh, they were so cool. I wish I was the age I am now then. But also in general, I think some of that is that just that era of any of our lives, the early 20s?
No. Because no, sorry.
Damn, it was just different then.
It was different because...
I love that, though.
It was different because it was the beginning.
There's a renaissance.
It was a renaissance. Mm-hmm. There was hip-hop music in New York City, in L.A. Then it went sprinkled down to the South. So there was just this surge of energy, of greatness, of talent, of music. And we didn't care who said yes or no. We owned the space and we were so hungry for more because when you think of the civil rights movement and you think how their push and their voices got us to be where we were.
Yes.
We were empowered.
Yes.
Now young people are being powered by fake imagery and images on social media that don't have very much substance. The substance is the thing that gets you longevity.
Yes.
If you don't, you can't pretend to be a star. You can't pretend to be talented. You have to have the substance to marry the talent, and that's what gets to the longevity.
Really do agree with you.
I don't know if I'm right about everything, but I know that I'm committed to that.
I mean, to me, it aligns. And when I think about, like, when we're just talking about Friday, it ain't just a funny movie. It has a message. And even when I think about the most silly satirical works, like, don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
But it was amazing.
Message. Message.
Hi. We knew exactly what that meant.
Hollywood Shuffle.
Oh, Robert Townsend's genius.
It was always something that was crucial happening at the core of it. When I think about The Wood, it's about growing up.
Yeah.
It's about we no longer can be childish and do the funny kid things we did anymore, but we gonna always love each other even though it's time for us to move on. Like, everything had weight to it. What do you think it's because we're chasing numbers and just like we're equating visibility and popularity with, is that what has happened with digital? Because I wonder why. It's like, what has changed with the material? Why aren't we always looking
for the quality? It's just not.
It's crazy
what it used to be. Everything doesn't have to be perfect art. I don't think there's such a thing as perfect art anyway. But when I turn on a film, and I say turn on a film because now everything's streaming. There's no more going to the movies. Which makes me so sad.
Baby girl.
It breaks my heart.
That was my thing.
I know. And I think as much as we love streaming because it's giving so many other actors opportunities that may not have those opportunities, right? Mm-hmm. But I really miss the art of going to the theater. And I think because there's such a quick turnover with streaming, you have to inform the audience in a different way when you're working on